Hi, I'm John Hollenhorst, publisher of Mass Transit Magazine. With me today is Matthias Augustyniak with Scheidt Bachmann. August, thanks for joining us today. It's nice to have you with us. I see a huge array of products here, technology. Can you tell our viewers what they might want to be looking for with fare collection, some of the latest technologies that you're offering?
Fare collection is something which involves people. So it's one of the parts of mass transit where the customer really has to experience something doing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it is obviously extremely close related to development in technology trends generally.
Sure.
So you see today, cell phones, of course, media, information services. This is what customers expect. And the same they expect it from fare collection. So the ticket has to be sold in all possible ways. It has to be not only sold with an easy to operate TVM or automatic machine. It has to be sold with cell phone. It has to be sold on the website. It has to be available at every time with every possible means.
Sure.
So when you see here, what we try to show is, let's say, evolution of a fare collection where you have still a standard equipment already being combined with the modern technologies, and therefore we like to enable our customers to keep pace with the changing times, with the changing behavior of the customers. Because at the end, fare collection, believe it or not, is one of the most important functions.
It is, it's a core
We're
function.
really reflecting customers. Obviously a bus has to drive, but nobody knows if it drives perfectly and the engine is working. Now the TVM is not working. The people are getting upset, and it's of course very annoying. So we have to be able to deliver systems which continuously our customer can adapt to new technologies, and secondly, they have to operate all the time. So like 100%, let's say, availability, this is what the customer today expects. He doesn't expect any delays.
Thank you. Now we'll go on to our next question here. So your customers are the transit agencies.
Right.
What are their main challenges?
I think I already addressed it in my first request. Our transit agencies, usually, from the history, they are relatively change resistant. Why? Because obviously they have to worry about long-term investments, and they have very much to worry about safety. So if you look at typical investment cycle of a train, 30 to 50 years, of a bus, maybe 5 to 10 years, and here we are providing modern technology, modern IT. So IT which is changing continuously, 2 or 3 years cycles, you have new cell phones, you have new features, you have maybe new devices, new services which didn't exist before. And here we have a typical investment cycle which is even coming from the public subsidies of 12 years. And here is, I think, where our customer today is it has very big difficulties to make a right selection, right choice. Because once he has to select now systems which will be operating for, let's say, 10 to 15 years, and also he's able to keep pace with requirements which, of course, politics, public, his, let's say, money givers expecting from him. So, and this is why we have to find a ways with new buzzwords like open systems, like open data, to provide this customer core systems which are stable, but with services which can be very easily adjusted to the new media, new uses, new communication devices, and new services which whatever a customer might expect in the future.
Yeah, when we were talking earlier, you mentioned that it's easy to update your systems and keep them current, because they are so open.
That's right.
Yes.
Because they are so open, and they, as long as we can influence it, we will make it more open in the future. Because what is most important for our customers, to of course don't reinvest all the time. Setting new systems like this, it's a huge impact to an agency, not only from a money point of view, but also for all kinds of risks. Right? They talk about revenue, they talk about the customers. So they should do it as seldom as possible, but they should still be able to adjust, add to these services. Example like this might be when, once you have a system selling tickets, as long as these tickets, the information about the tickets is the back office.
Yes.
And as long as you open a data interface or service interface, you can start to utilize all kinds of possible devices to sell these tickets. And it can be today, let's say, a cell phone, tomorrow it can be website, maybe watch, maybe new Google glasses and so on.
Yeah.
But this is still the same ticket, right?
It's amazing the pace of change.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this is what is our customers' biggest challenge.
Sure. Yes.
Maybe you guys just get
A bit closer.
Yeah, like that. There you go. Thanks.
Well, speaking of changes, what trends do you see in the future?
Definitely, we see, our business is retail system for transportations, right? And retail system for transportation has like two different areas. One is sales as such. So it's just where a customer or client is buying a ticket. Ticket itself is still not a product, not a service. It's just something which enables him to use the service, right?
Yeah.
And then the second part is with what we call validation. It's just a moment when a customer is really utilizing this ticket, entering the bus, getting this ticket, validated, so he knows he utilized really the purchase which he made. And first trend is we feel then sales channels will go on to the, let's say, mobile devices or to devices, to homes, will become more automatically. The customers will, similar like today, in all the internet-based retail, they best way register. They have their name, they have their account, they have their system there, and get this ticket automatically updated on whatever kind of devices they have. It can be cell phone, can be smart card, can be in the future for sure a smart watch, or whatever chips we invent. Maybe eyes, maybe fingerprint, and so on. It's all connected with their account, right?
That really is
so
interesting.
This is one thing. The second thing is, validation, and validation is, I think, more traditional. It will not change so quickly because it's very much limited to where we are. So you see here, for example, a gate. This gate is an entry to, let's say, subway stations, metro stations. This probably will still stay for a while with us, only it has to be able to read different IDs. So it has to be able to read the smartphone with NFC, it has to be with barcode, it can, in the future we read for sure a fingerprint, it will read maybe retina or whatever, we find out as a new identification devices will be. But basically the concept, when somebody has to walk through the gate, will stay.
Yes.
The similar, like over, smaller devices behind it, you see this kind of small plastic box. This is a validator. This is again a device, an entry device, which is typically located in the buses. So I think these devices will add interfaces to them, but they will more or less stay. However, the sales devices will go very, very strongly toward internet, web, mobile web, and so on.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
How will the technologies we're seeing here drive down operational costs for agencies?
Generally, cost is always an issue.
Yes.
Obviously, as we all know, governments usually finance public transportation. The government's having less and less money for this, obviously. So clearly, we all of us here probably they talk about total costs of ownership and sales costs. Here, modern ticketing systems have a quite big influence on the costs. You see very old systems which you would have, let's say, people counting dollars. They can add alone sales costs to 30 to 40% of the revenues. So you can imagine collecting $1 may cost 30, 40, even 50 cents. So with a system where you see here mostly as a smart card, which is today a most common system, this cost will go down to 5 to 10 cents. So you can imagine if you invest in a system like this, you immediately are getting maybe 25% more revenue or more profit.
That's pretty remarkable.
Because it's a clear profit. So this is a very big impact. The next way how modern systems are adding money into our customers' pocket is obviously reducing fraud. So the electronic systems are more fraud resistant. So usually if we introduce a new system, typically a customer has around 10% more revenue from whatever reasons, even without changing any tariffs. So you can imagine how good it is. So the payback on such a new system is relatively quick. And the next thing is, which we currently work on, is finding a way how to add revenue to our customers. Because you're saving, you can save yourself somewhat to the death, but some costs will retain. However, a fare collection system or information system is an interface to the clients. And in our industry, this interface to the clients is not heavily utilized to offer different services. If you would look, let's say, on a train station, what is happening on the train station? It's not only planes where train go in or out. It's a shopping market.
Yes.
There are many stores, many places, people spending money there, right? But they still don't do it via fare collection systems. So the idea is born to start to manage clients in according to make more revenue with him. Why couldn't the same, let's say, smart card sell a ticket, but they sell also sandwich or coffee or things like this? So we speak about this micropayments, and micropayments are very close to public transportation, because if you feel what is public transportation, typically it's commuters or people living in the urban area. These people usually use many of very similar transactions as buying a ticket. So why not open these systems to these people? They are anyway there. They are kind of under control, right?
Yeah.
So here are three things. We try to sell lower cost of sales. We try to reduce fraud. But I think this third topic, which is right now very, very exciting and relatively new, we will increase revenues.
Sure. Very good.
And I think
That
I
is
probably
good.
covered it all.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Did we talk enough about the flexibility? I think it was the
I think
open
we did.
system.
We did. This open data opens. There are two buzzwords which, if they are taken really well, they are changing they are really paradigm changing to the whole industry.
This really is interesting. I mean, the
Great.
possibilities, for transit agencies, they're always looking for ways to increase revenues.
Right.
Like putting up advertising, just all the things beside their normal operations.
Think about it. If you look at Facebook, what's the value of Facebook? They say $150 per customer, right? Per account.
Yeah.
Here, if we take a typical, let's say New York, right? How many accounts does MTA have? Right? 10 million, 8 million?
Millions, yes.
What they do with these accounts, right?
Not enough.
Not much currently, right? So they provide services, of course, to accounts, which is absolutely good. But utilization of these services could provide really a very strong and very, I think, interesting revenue stream.
Sure, with that card in their hand. Yeah.
And the client in the hand.
Yeah.
You cannot use any other services, like to go subway. There's only one.
Yeah.
Right? So there's clearly, through the offer, which our clients, public transportation is providing, you have a very strong linkage to the huge amount of customers.
So do you provide consulting services on ways to increase fare revenue?
We would
like that?
provide not even this. We would invest into businesses like this. We would enable our customers with our own money and help them to utilize what we call, let's say, third-party revenue management. It can be parking, it can be on-street parking, can be many, many different municipal services, and basically we say it always a micropayment. You can buy a Starbucks coffee, with a Charlie card, let's say in Boston and stuff like this. Which is already it's not new, The Asian countries are already way ahead of us. Hong Kong is doing it very, very heavily. Tokyo as well. They are having right now 2/3 of the revenue coming out of non-transit functions.
Wow. So it's all proven. It's just
it's
not
just
implemented
That
here.
has to be done. That has to be done.
Wow.
And we are definitely ready. We have, technology is very simple for us. And we are even willing, because sometimes you would say a transit agency is not necessarily in business to provide these payment services, but we can enable them and, of course, pay a share. So instead of taking money from our customers, provide them money, right?
I like it.
Please, publish it. So we're ready.